Coming up on Mountain News at 6, it's game day for the Kentucky Wildcats. We'll have a live report from Pittsburgh. And Governor Andy Beshear announces a federal grant worth more than $80 million, which could bring more than 1,500 jobs to Bell County.
Plus, rain chances are back to end the work week. Your forecast coming up as Mountain News at 6 starts now.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News at 6.
3 teams from the Bluegrass are taking part in the NCAA men's tournament this year. UK, of course, gearing up for its first round matchup against Oakland in about an hour. WYMT's Armando Berry is live in Pittsburgh with our Big Blue coverage. Armando.
It's not too long until Kentucky takes on Oakland, but the NCAA tournament has been a show all day long so far. It has lured in fans from all over the country and to support their teams, and has given those in Pittsburgh a special chance to show off their city and even enjoy the best college hoops there is to offer.
You know, it's just a great tournament. March Madness, obviously you want to be a part of it. Any chance you get, we're trying to come here, so that's why we're here.
Being able to see it, obviously, for the first time is going to be incredible. Just kind of the atmosphere inside the arena right now is going to be pretty cool to see.
You know, they say you can't trust those guys who wear their hats backwards, but they're actually pretty cool. And Peyton is actually from my hometown of Waco, Texas. Who would have thought? Just cool being around here at the tournament. But I'll give you your preview later in sports. Steve, back to you.
All right, Armando, thank you very much. Now, again, Kentucky's contest with Oakland set for 7:10. About an hour from now, of course, CBS coverage will start right after the CBS Evening News. You can watch it all right here on WYMT, and our newscast tonight will be on after the NCAA tournament games conclude around midnight or so. Another Kentucky team was in action this afternoon. Ahead of Morehead State's game, we went to Rowan County to see some of the excitement around the team's tournament appearance. The pride of the university could be seen across the city. Many in the community cheered them on, including alum Paul Goodpaster. Morehead State has also gotten attention from a few celebrities leading up to the contest with Illinois.
Yeah, we've had some celebrity endorsements. I think Antonio Brown,
Jimmy Fallon,
they tweeted out some tweets in support of us. So we are starting to get some recognition. That train is, starting to take off. But I think in the state of Kentucky, we are a basketball kind of state with Kentucky, Louisville. But I think it's time that Morehead finally gets the respect it deserves to as far as when it comes to Kentucky basketball and being a part of that legacy and tradition.
Well, if you watch the game, the Eagles got off to a great start and hung with Illinois for most of the game, but unfortunately in the end they fell 85-69. Still a great season for Morehead. Well, Miss Kentucky Basketball 2024 is being celebrated by her community today, with neighbors lifting up the first Pikeville independent athlete to be chosen for that award by dedicating a day in her honor. Pikeville High School senior Trinity Rowe visited her former elementary school to kick off Trinity Rowe Day. Seeing signs and support from the students, then went on a parade through Pikeville to land home at the high school for a pep rally. Rowe was given a key to the city and an official proclamation from Mayor Jimmy Carter dedicating the day in her honor. But she says the highlight was being able to speak to the students about her accomplishments, the work it took to get there, and the wisdom she found along the way.
And I think that's really important. What I've tried to do my whole career is just try to lift everyone else up, and I think that just helped me rise at the same time. So I think that was really important, and getting to ride around town with the police escort was really cool. I was like, wish we could drive like this all the time, go through all the red lights in Coal Run.
Rowe also just threw out the first pitch at the boys' baseball game. She says it's certainly been a day to remember, and we'll have more from the Southern Miss commit coming up in our late newscast around midnight.
Well, we have enjoyed some really nice weather this week. We were dry, also mild and sunny for most of the week, but spoiler alert, those rain chances are not far away. This evening, though, some more nice weather is on tap. A live look across the region. You can see some more sunshine and blue sky across the mountains, up to 50 in Pikeville, 53 in Jackson, a little bit cooler in Morehead, down to 50, a little bit warmer close to the Kentucky and Tennessee border, up to 65 over in Bell County. At this hour, we are dry on first alert pinpoint Doppler, and more dry weather is on tap as we go into this evening. Those lows are chilly once again as you wake up on Friday in the middle to upper 30s. Those clouds also increase as that next system is not too far away. Notice we are tracking some showers and storms over Texas, Louisiana, also Arkansas and Oklahoma, and this moisture is moving into our direction, especially late tomorrow, pushing into the first part of your weekend. More details on that next rain chance, plus another freeze coming up in just a few minutes. Steve?
All right, Cameron, thank you. A Whitley County man charged with murder was indicted by a grand jury earlier this week. 73-year-old Michael Boyd Connor is accused of murdering Charles Oler. He was arrested after investigators found the 73-year-old dead inside his home back in January. Police searched Connor's home in Corbin, then placed him under arrest. 2 people are facing charges after police found drugs on them during a traffic stop in Harlan County. Deputies conducted the stop last Sunday. They noticed during the stop Charles Napier trying to get rid of a large bag of suspected meth from the vehicle. Marijuana, money, and drug paraphernalia was found during a search of the vehicle. Napier and Shaylon Sieber were taken to the Harlan County Detention Center, but Sieber has since been released. Big story today out of Bell County. More than 1,000 jobs could soon be created by the construction of a hydropower facility there. WYMT's RJ Johnson has more on today's huge announcement.
A project that's been more than a year in the making. An $81 million grant will help build the $1.3 billion Lewis Ridge Pumped Storage Hydropower Facility in Bell County.
The project was approved for Rye Development to transition a former coal mine site adjacent to the Cumberland River to a pumped storage hydroelectric facility. Congratulations to Rye Development. And thank you to President Biden, Secretary Jennifer Granholm, Deputy Secretary David Turk, and the Department of Energy for supporting Kentucky as we continue to meet America's energy needs.
Governor Andy Beshear says the project will create enough energy to power more than 60,000 homes each year, while providing more than 1,000 jobs.
The project will create about 1,500 high-quality construction jobs, 30 operational jobs, and will deliver enough clean energy to power about 67,000 homes annually.
Senate President Robert Stivers says this will be great for the county.
It will have a huge fiscal impact in that region, a region that if you knew the historical background, the sociological changes, that was once a rich energy production area that had a population in that county of probably around 50,000 at one time that now has less than 30,000. This is an opportunity to restore hope,
while also having an impact on the region as a whole.
This is something that is in Bell County, but for multiple counties. It will impact Knox County, Harlan County, Clay County, Whitley County, a lot of counties in and around the area.
In Bell County, RJ Johnson, WYMT Mountain News.
Well, while officials say this is a great step in the project, it will take a while to complete. According to the project's website, construction will not even begin until 2027. There's new leadership at the Kentucky Justice and Public Safety Cabinet. Governor Beshear's office announced multiple appointments today. Keith Jackson was named Secretary, Mona Womack, Deputy Secretary, and Randy White, Commissioner of the Department of Juvenile Justice. Jackson became the first African-American appointed chief of the Lexington Division of Fire and Emergency Services back in 2012. In the past 3 years, millions of Kentuckians have received COVID-19 vaccinations, in some cases because it was required to attend school or work. But as Jessica Umbro explains, there's now a push to make those mandates a thing of the past.
Senate Bill 295, which would ban COVID-19 vaccine mandates, is co-sponsored by more than 20 Republican legislators.
It is just unnecessary right now, and the data is starting to show very clearly there's no reason to require this vaccine.
Senator Titchener says mandates led to some having to make a hard decision that she says was unjust.
And they had to make a decision of their health versus their job, or their school and their future career, or their health. And nobody should be forced to make that decision, especially now that we have the information that we do.
The bill, which would ban mandates in schools, workplaces, and in the healthcare sector, is not without opposition in Frankfort.
But it certainly feels like government overreach to try to get involved in understanding those businesses, why they've made those choices. There could be very good reasons rooted in health, safety, science, and best practices.
Some medical professionals are also weighing in with their concerns.
It's not to say some people may not have a side effect, but we know out of the millions of people that have had the vaccine that it is a safe vaccine.
This piece of legislation did undergo a pretty significant change, with the original language including mod-RNA and mRNA vaccines, and with the new version specifically targeting the COVID-19 vaccine. In Frankfort, Jessica Umbro, WKYT.
The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention says research has shown people receiving COVID vaccines are at no greater risk of death from non-COVID causes than unvaccinated people. Lawmakers are close to passing a new law dealing with vaping and how school districts deal with that. House Bill 142 simply tells districts they need to adopt policies and stick to those rules. Part of the concern is vaping products can often be tainted with other substances. The bill would require school boards to set policies including prevention and cessation materials, signage stating vaping or nicotine products are not allowed, and sets punishment for students caught with the products.
For students under 21, it allows districts to confiscate alternative nicotine products, and further offenses shall result in an in-school suspension or an out-of-school suspension based on what their policy dictates.
The bill passed the full House 80-11 and did not face any real opposition in the committee, but it may need to go back if it passes the full Senate because of changes made. A bill aimed at keeping Kentucky classrooms safer is moving forward in Frankfort. House Bill 275 would force teacher applicants to disclose whether they were the subject of any sexual misconduct allegations or investigations within the past year. Districts would also be prevented from entering into non-disclosure agreements related to teacher misconduct. The Kentucky Board of Education has found its next education commissioner, and he works for an Eastern Kentucky school district. Lawrence County School Superintendent Dr. Robbie Fletcher has been tabbed as the next commissioner. Prior to being named superintendent for Lawrence County Schools back in 2014, Fletcher was the principal at Sheldon Clark High School in Martin County for many years.
We are tracking some more dry weather as we go into this evening, but that next rain chance is looming, timing out those showers after this break. Plus,
a special ceremony could mark the second anniversary of the 2022 flood later this year in one county.